Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishna rakshatu no jagatraya guruhu. Krishnam namasyamyaham. Krishnena marasetravo vinihataha. Krishnaya tasmai namaha. Krishna deva samuthitam jagadidam. Krishnasya dasosmyaham. Krishne tishtati sarvametadakhilam. He Krishna samrakshamam. Jai Sriman Narayana. With blessings of Sri Yajna Swamiji, we are continuing Bhagavad Gita Chapter 4. We finished up to sloka 19. We'll start today with sloka 20. Sloka 20 and start sharing the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
With the sloka?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Please chant. Tyaktva karma-phala sangam.
Tyaktva karma-phala sangam.
Nitya-truptah nirasrayah.
Nitya-truptah nirashrayah.
Karmanyabhipravrittopi.
Karmanyabhipravrittopi.
Naiva kinchit karoti saha.
Naiva kinchit karoti saha.
Let's chant together. Tyaktva
Karma-phala
sangam. Nitya-truptah nirashrayah. Karmanyabhipravrittopi. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. Lord Krishna is giving us the principles of Akarma. Okay, so we learned that karma, when it is supported by Akarma, which is the qualified jnanam, okay, and performed as service to God, it becomes karma yoga. Karma yoga is our swadharma. We need to perform karma yoga. Okay, so swadharma is not like what religion that we follow. It's not our religion. It is it's a way of our life. It is a righteous conduct, which is karma yoga. So what is our swadharma? If someone asks, we need to perform karma yoga. What is karma yoga? We need to perform karma supported by akarma, which is qualified jnanam, and do it as kainkarya, service to God. That becomes karma yoga. Okay, so that is very simple. So what is that qualified knowledge? What is that akarma, right? So with which if we perform our karmas, it will not bind us. Okay, so I mean the term akarma is translated as inaction sometimes, but in this particular context, it is not inaction. It is the qualified knowledge with which if we perform the karma, it does not give us karma bandha. So a karma bandha, right? So that bandha is understood. So when we say we are carrying a lot of karma with us, right? That there the karmic, the bondage is implied there, right? So karmic bondage is what we are carrying, not the activities themselves, right? When we perform any activity, it generates karmic bondage for us. That is sometimes we if we want to say explicitly, we explicitly say it as karmic bondage, or we say we are carrying a lot of karma, right? A lot of karmic bondage with us. So akarma is the knowledge that does not give us karmic bondage. It leads to akarma bandha. Okay. So it is not that we stop doing the activities, right? It is we are doing the karma with the support of this knowledge, which will not give us karmic bondage, or which will turn the karma into something that which will not give us karmic bondage. Okay, it's the same karma that is performed, but it does not give us a karmic bondage. Okay, so Lord Krishna is saying that in the previous sloka, actually the Akarma principle started in the previous sloka. There, Lord Krishna said, Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama-sangkalpa-varjitaha. Kama-sangkalpa-varjitaha. So free from desire, and sankalpa is delusion that I am performing the activity. This is my activity. So if I am, so that is the first principle. So many principles that we are learning. In this particular context, let us start with that. So when that is the first thing. So kama-sangkalpa-varjita, and you do the activity with that akarma, right? So that is one akarma principle, free from desire. And actually there are two there, free from desire or expectations, and then free from delusion that I am doing the activity, this is my activity. Okay. I am thinking of doing this activity. Then there we are saying that I am doing the activity and this is my activity. That is the sankalpa we are doing. Thinking that this is mine and I am doing the activity. And kama is the desire. I'm doing it with a particular expectation in mind. So varjita, if you do it free from doing any activity, doing the karma, free from the desire and the sankalpa, that is the akarma. Okay, so that will not bind us. Okay, then our jnana agni dagdha karmanam, he said, right? Karmanam. So the karma there, karma is karmic bondage, not the actual karma. Karma is not burnt. Karmic bondage is burnt, right? So whatever karmic bondage you are supposed to get by performing the karma will not be there. And also it will burn whatever karmic bondage that we are carrying from the past. Okay. So that is the first. And in the current sloka, Lord Krishna is saying, tyaktva karma-phala sangam. Okay. So here yaha, because he's saying later saha, saha eva kinchit karoti saha. Okay. So that is what Lord Krishna is saying is that person eva kinchit karoti saha, even though eva kinchit karoti saha is does not work at all. Right? Karoti means working. Saha karoti, that person is doing. Kinchit karoti does not. Okay, does not work at all. Okay, so sa eva kinchit karoti is said. Who is not doing even karmani abhipravruttaha api, even though abhipravruttaha is intently engaged in action, even though I'm wholeheartedly doing any action, saha eva kinchit karoti saha. Na eva kinchit, I'm sorry, na eva kinchit karoti saha is does not work at all, right? So when Okay, so the karma principle is karma-phala sangam tyaktva, after giving up attachment to the fruit of actions. Karma-phala is the fruit of the action. Sangam tyaktva, after giving up the fruits of attachment. Sangam is attachment to the fruit of actions. Okay. Then another principle Lord Krishna gave, nitya-truptah, remains content with eternal self. Right? I mean, if you are giving up the fruit of actions, right? Then what are you going to be satisfied with? Typically, we are satisfied with our fruit of actions, our results, whatever results that we get. So that is our that is what is giving us satisfaction or happiness, enlightenment, or whatever it is, enjoyment. So, so we are giving up our attachment to the fruit of actions. We are satisfied with our own self. Okay. Then nirasrayaha is without a sense of dependence on no one. Nirasrayaha. Asraya is having sense of dependence. Nirasraya is not having dependence on anyone or anything. Here, the context is not having dependence on. See, we are in the materialistic world, right? You are performing some action. Okay, so I am doing it without having attachment to the fruits of action or results of those actions. I am doing it with content, fully content with our own self, and not having dependence on Prakriti, not having dependence on body, not having, so we are not dependent on Prakriti for, for our happiness, for reaching our goal, right? So without having the sense of dependency is nirasrayaha, saha na eva kinchit karoti. That person does not work at all. Karmani abhipravruttaha api. So that means even though that person is wholeheartedly engaged in action. So it is not that Lord Krishna is not saying that if you want to avoid karmic bondage, do it, disliking the work, right? Because the work is giving me karmic bondage, so we need to dislike the work. No, he's not saying that. Do it wholeheartedly. Even though you do it wholeheartedly, you will not get karmic bondage. When you apply these principles, the akarma, the knowledge, qualified knowledge with which if you perform the actions, then you will not be getting you are considered as if you are not working. That means you are considered, you will not be getting the karmic bondage. Even though you work, it is as good as no work. Okay. Got it? So, karma phala sangam tyaktva, nitya-truptah, nirasrayaha. 3. And in the previous sloka, ma-sangkalpa-varjita, right? So you can note down those principles. When we are performing the activities supported by this knowledge, it does not, that activity, even though we perform it with like anybody else, it will not bind us.
So even though we're doing karma to the full extent, right, with those things, knowledge,
Right.
I'm doing karma that's not pretty much. That's where he's saying, right? That's burnt in that whole thing. So it's not
Yes.
as if we are not doing any karma, pretty much zero, right? No karmic bondage, pretty much.
Yep. No karmic bondage for us if we do these activities.
It's not that we're not doing, we're doing fully doing activities, but yeah, with that knowledge in mind. So
Yes.
that's
Okay. Any questions on it?
so the dependency, right? Except Paramatma, right? Because we depend on Paramatma, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Other than Paramatma, we're not dependent on the results, we're not dependent on Prakriti, we're not dependent on external factors, right? We still do those things.
I didn't understand.
We are not
this.
dependent on material nature, the Prakriti, for our happiness, right? So we are content with our own self, isn't it?
Got it. That was
so
the
nothing
question I
will
was
take away.
asking. Prakriti, that is the material nature. That's what you are saying.
Gunas, right?
Yeah, material nature is Prakriti.
Okay.
Yes, including our body. Our body is also made of material nature only.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
and it means we are not dependent on other people, other possessions, other anything that is made of material nature. Okay, if we are dependent on the material nature, then we get the karmic bondage. Okay.
because without this knowledge, we derive our happiness from materialistic benefits, right? It's a
Yes, exactly. You're working for the sake of material.
nitya-truptah. Every day, that's what we derive basically, right? Our happiness is based on the results and something we're going to get.
Okay. Let us look at next sloka. Sloka 21. Nira yata-chitta-a.
Nira
yata-chitta-a.
tyakta-sarva-parigrahah.
yata-sarva-parigrahah.
Sariram kevalam karma.
Shariram kevalam karma.
Kurvan-apnoti kilbisham.
Kurvan-apnoti kilbisham.
Let's chant together. Nira
Yata-chitta-a. Tyakta-sarva-parigrahah. Shariram kevalam karma.
kurvan-apnoti kilbisham.
Lord Krishna is giving us more principles, more qualified knowledge. He's giving us this knowledge with which we need to perform our activities. So Lord Krishna is saying, Nirasihi. Okay. One who is free from desire for results, free from expectations. Okay. In the Lord Krishna is saying in the last line, he's saying, Kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. Okay. Kilbisham na apnoti. This person does not incur sin. Who is that person? Okay. That person is explaining. Nirasihi is one who is free from expectations, who is free from desires for results. Okay. Yata-chitta-a, having fully controlled fluctuating mind. Okay. Who's having fully controlled mind and intellect, or you can just say mind, having fully controlled mind. Tyakta-sarva-parigrahah. Having totally abandoned sense of ownership. Tyakta-sarva-parigrahah. Totally abandoned sense of ownership or possessiveness. in regard to Prakriti or anything that is of material, made of material nature, right? So abandoned or given up the sense of ownership, yata-chitta-a, having fully controlled mind, nirasi, one who is free from desire for results. Kevalam sariram karma kurvan. Okay, sariram kevalam karma kurvan is there in the sloka. So that one who performs mere bodily work alone. Okay, that's a meaning of that. So what does that mean? That one who performs work that is required for sustenance of the body. Okay, kevalam sariram karma kurvan. So just whatever work is needed for the sustenance of the body. Okay, right? See, we need to understand this. So we need to perform activities in order for us to live, and also do our duties that are assigned to us, right? Beyond that, if you're thinking of anything, then it is considered desire. Like in our duties, you want to do the best that we can, right? For example, my duty is to perform coding, right? I want to be the best in that. That's not a problem. That is my goal. Okay, it's not a desire. So typically this is a question a lot of times comes. So if I want to reach the highest levels in my whatever duties that I am performing, that is not a desire. That is the goal that we have. Okay, so you can have that goal, work towards that goal without having expectations, without thinking that I'm going to reach the goal by myself. This is my own activity. I'm independently thinking of it and then doing it. If I remove all that, if I am working towards reaching that goal as karma yoga, not a problem, right? So that is fine. So if that particular duty is given to me by birth, right? By having this body, I got the duty. So in order for me to survive and participate in this particular society, in whatever role that I have in, I need to perform that activity. So I'm performing that activity because I got this body and this is my duty. And I'm performing it, for the sustenance of the body, for sustenance of myself in this particular society. Okay. Then kilbisham na apnoti. Kilbisham is sin. This comes several times. So kilbisham na apnoti is that person does not incur sin, does not acquire sin, does not get bound in this cycle of samsara, cycle of births and deaths. Okay, so it is nira yata-chitta-a tyakta-sarva-parigrahah kevalam shariram kurvan karma kurvan. Okay, so those are the principles.
So my apologies for question. So yeah, you said the goal having a best of coder. How do you distinguish? So someone has a goal of $1 million. They want to earn $1 million. That's a goal, right, for him. And right.
The goal of $1 million is desire straight.
Okay.
Our goal is not to earn money. Earning money is acquiring material, possessiveness, right? attachment, expectations on the results. So if I become the best coder in the company, let's say I get $1 million as my salary, that's fine.
Okay.
So $1 million is not the driving factor for me to start coding. Okay. So there is a difference there. So if I'm going to acquire these many properties, this much money, and I need to acquire them in order for me to enjoy. So I have a dependency on material for my own enjoyment. And then if I do my activity, then it is anti-karma yoga. It is not karma yoga. It's opposite of karma yoga. The same thing, like if I perform my duty well and I get the result as if I get whatever results I'm getting, money or any other material results that I'm getting, that is fine, right? So it does not, in that case, it does not bind me. So let us say I am doing the activity to the best of our abilities. Result comes, fine. If the result does not come also, it will be fine. That is nirasihi, that not having, or free from desire, free from expectations. So I'm working with, I have a goal, but I do not have expectation that I'm going to achieve the goal by my work. I'm working towards it, that's fine. Okay, if I get that goal, fine. That is what Paramatma blessed me. Okay, because without Paramatma's energy, without Paramatma giving me the energy and making everything possible for me to get the result, I would not get that result. So that's what I will immediately acknowledge, right? Typically, whenever we get any result,
yeah,
it is not coming from thin air, right? It is coming from the material nature in some form or the other. It is, say, a particular CEO is earning $1 million as salary. A CEO is not producing anything by himself. It's all other people, other material. Let's say factory is a lot of people are working. Factory is using the material. That material is coming from the Panchabhutas, right? The energy provided by sun, and the wind, water, and all that. So without all that, we'll go into the details in 18th chapter again, but without several other factors involved, we would not get the result. Just having my intention is not sufficient to get the result. If I have intention, still I may not have the energy to get it. Still other surroundings may not support me. Still there could be some, natural, things that may happen that prevent me from getting the results. So all those things may happen. So if I get the result, that means I got it because of karmic, because of Paramatma's blessings. So if so I do not have expectation that I will get a particular result. Whatever result is there, I'm going to accept it. I am working with a particular goal in mind. Even when we take it to a higher level, our goal is to reach the state equivalent to Paramatma, right? Our goal is to reach liberation. We are working towards it, right? There's no guarantee that we would get it in this particular life. But we are, that is our intention. All the means is provided by Paramatma. Energy is given to us by Paramatma. Paramatma is the one who is making sure that we are, getting initiation from Acharya, knowledge from Acharya, be part of satsang, and giving us environment where we can practice this particular knowledge. So it's all Paramatma's blessings that we are able to go in that direction. Okay, so that is at a higher level. If I am talking about lower level, talking about materialistic things, even there, I have a goal to get in my job. I have a goal to succeed in my project. That's good, work towards it with wholehearted intent, right? But if you do it with the principles of Akarma, then it will not bind you.
So, Prashadji, if not with the expectation of desire, but let's say you invest something so that you can sustain when you're not working, or when you're not in the state of that you can work anymore. Does it also incur sin?
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
So let's say you're acquiring, you're not acquiring, but you're investing something so that you can get the return when you are not able to sustain yourself. I mean, to sustain yourself, basically, when you're not able to work. Right. Where does
That's fine. I mean, that is one of the activities that you're doing. So you're using money as a mechanism to give you more money, right?
Right.
So the money that you are investing is provided to you by Paramatma. I am doing this activity in order for me to sustain myself, not a problem.
Right.
So if I do that activity with greed, with expectations, right, then it becomes binding.
Right.
And isn't it karma itself trying to take care of ourselves, in the future, in our retirement, just to see that we survive and continue doing our work? I would think, means my interpretation is it's part of karma.
Yeah, I mean, directly it is given here, right? Lord Krishna said, kevalam sariram karma kurvan. So it's fine. We are performing the activity in order to sustain our body. Okay, we do it as, way to sustain our body with no desire for results, no, expectations, right? And with controlled mind, if you do the activity, giving up the sense of ownership, then we are on the path to not incurring sin. So we are not going to acquire karmic bondage. There is so there's karma and akarma, right? So I was trying to see if there is any analogy that we can give for this, right? So couple of things come to our mind. Now, let us say there is sweet, right? And, the food that is sweet in nature. So when you see the sweets, what do you say typically? As soon as you see the sweet,
we feel happy.
sweet. You are so happy. It is sweet. You call it as sweet.
Yes.
But is that sweet is the characteristic of that particular material? Isn't it? See, when you see sweet, or when you see a fruit that is sweet, I mean, it is so sweet. I mean, sometimes if sugar is definitely sweet. So when something is made of sweet, then then we say this is sweet and give it to people. Oh, I brought some sweets, right? So sweet is embedded in that material. Sweet so when you see that, you are seeing it as sweet, but it is that sweet is delivered to you through that mechanism. You do not care about that material. You only care about the sweet. I mean, when you are eating sweet, do you really focus on that material beyond the sweet? No, right? Typically, you are enjoying that sweet, taste. So there is material, and that material contains sweet that we cannot separate from the material. Isn't it? Can you separate sweet and eat that sweet taste without the material? So sweet is
inherent property
soft
of that material.
Sweet is like software. We all understand software, hardware, right? Sweet is that software characteristic that is embedded in that material. And when we look at it, we see it as sweet, and we are only enjoying the sweet, not worried about the material. So if that sweet is coming from, like material A or B or C, typically we don't care, right? If I like sweets, do I really care whether it is coming from A or B or C? You can mix in anything. You can put a lot of sugar in milk and then you enjoy the sweet, or you can make sweet Mysore pak or jalebi or any other material, any material that you take, and if it is sweet in nature, you eat for that sweet taste. So we do not care about the material. We only care about the sweet. That sweet is like that akarma, okay, which is what we need, which is what we are looking for. The material is the karma, okay. So it is delivered to us through that material. The sweetness is delivered to us through a material. That material could be anything. So our karmas could be any karma, okay, but the sweet nature is same. So that is what is embedded in the material, which is delivered to us. So we leave the material part and we enjoy the sweet, isn't it? We are looking for the sweet, not looking for the material. Okay, so when we are doing the karma that is supported by akarma, we are looking for that akarma. We are leaving the karma. Okay. I mean, just to give the analogy, like, how do we, understand karma and akarma in a way, right? So I have all these different materials through which I can get the sweetness. Same way, all different karmas embedded akarma. Akarma is nothing but qualified knowledge. That is what is actually we need to develop. Okay, so without performing karma, you cannot get you will not be able to acquire that knowledge without practicing karma. That's why you need to practice karma yoga. Karma yoga has that embedded akarma. That akarma is what we are going to acquire. I mean, what we are going to develop as we practice karma yoga, leaving the we don't care what kind of karma we do, okay, as long as it is appropriate for us and it is our duty. So perform the karma, leave the karmic bondage, okay, and acquire what is embedded in that, which is useful for us, what we are really looking for. That is akarma. Okay, and that akarma cannot be separated out from the material, right? That sweet nature cannot be separated out from the material. Now you could say, oh, okay, I mean, of course, this is just an example that we are trying to give to understand, right? You may say, we can extract all the sugar out of that material, okay, concentrated sugar, leave the part that is not sugar, okay, and just give the sugar, right? So for example, if let us say there's a material in which there is natural sugar embedded in that particular material. Now, if I extract only the sugar part and leave the rest and give the sugar, is it good for us? No, right? Our body cannot take it. Isn't it? Our bodies are designed to, take the sugar along with that material, which is, even though that is not what we are looking for, that is a mechanism which delivers the sugar to us in a non-harmful way, right? If I, unfortunately, with all kinds of processing that we do, we just take out the sugar part and then take the sugar directly. We get diabetes and other things, right? So it is not natural. So if there is natural sugar that is embedded, then that sugar is good for us. Same way, if I just focus on the knowledge part, okay, and not perform karma, it is not good for us. It's not good for us multiple ways. One is we will not get it, first of all. The second is that we will not be able to sustain our body, right? We will not survive, basically. So same way, if I just take out the sugars from the natural material and just take the sugar pills that are made of that same material, made from that same material, okay, then that sugar is no good for us, and we will not sustain. We will not be able to survive. We have to eat it with the with other material, isn't it? So this karma and the knowledge that supports karma is like that only. So we need to perform the karma to acquire that akarma. Okay, that what we are. That means it will establish in our mind. Okay, and so we have to practice that karmas. Leave the karma part. Does not matter which karma we are doing. We will be reaching our goal. Okay, we are performing the activity as service to God. It does not matter which activity it is. Okay, that activity is given to us by our by birth, right? I took birth as a male, this particular society with this responsibilities, and so based on that, I have certain natural duties that are assigned to me. For Arjuna, it was, he's the king that he's supposed to do certain things. For a soldier, certain duties. For a lawyer, for a doctor, for cop. So everybody has their own duties. It is like those duties are naturally suitable for them, right? So with that, if I am doing the activity, focusing on the jnana part, okay, leaving the karmic bondage, I mean, leaving the karma part, okay, then I'm on the, I will not be getting the karmic bondage. Okay, I mean, just an analogy to understand. So akarma is not something that is, that's why, I mean, in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said, see karma and akarma and karma, right? So if just an analogy, right? Like when you look at that sweet, you saw it as a sweet, even though it is a material that tastes like a sweet with a taste, right? So so you saw, and then you said, oh, this is sweet. Okay, so you saw akarma and karma, right? And then you cannot get sweet by itself. You need to, it has to be combined with a material. So you're seeing karma. That means when you are performing a karma in order to experience it, that akarma, or in order to practice that akarma. So the karma is now of the nature of akarma. Little bit confusing, but you are it will become clear as we go along. So that karma is in fact, you are practicing the principle of a karma. It is not done for the sake of karma. If it is done for the sake of karma, then it gets you karma yoga. Karmic bondage. But if it is done with the knowledge, then the nature of that karma transforms to a karma, because that's the quality. I mean, that is the that's what is supporting that karma, which we are focused on. So that's what Lord Krishna is giving us, the principles of a karma with which we need to perform activities. And then that activity does not give us the karmic bondage. So our goal is not to get karmic bondage, even though we perform the activity. Our goal is not to avoid the activity, because we cannot survive without that. So we have to perform. Our goal is not to avoid the activity. If we do that and focus only on jnana part, we will not get it, right? Or we are not at that stage of just doing the focusing on jnana part and surviving with it. Okay, so that's why this karma and akarma are combined. Okay. On to sloka 22. Please chant. Yadruchchha bha-santusht'ah.
Yadruchchha
Santushto
Dvandva-ati vimatsarah.
dvandva-ati vimatsarah
Samah siddhau cha.
samah
siddhau
cha
Krutvapi na nibadhyate.
krutvapi na nibadhyate
Let's chant together. Yadruchchha
Yadruchchha
dvandva-ati
vimatsarah
samah siddhau cha.
krutvapi na nibadhyate.
Lord Krishna is giving us more principles here in this sloka. Yadruchchha-labha-santusht'ah, being satisfied with whatever is obtained by chance. Okay. Dvandva-atitaha, next principle. Dvandva-atitaha, rising above pair of opposites. Dvandva is pair of opposites. We learned earlier also Lord Krishna gave, the pair of opposites, win or lose, profit or loss, pleasure or pain, heat or cold, sweet or sour, praise or criticism. All these are opposites, right? Opposite results that we get when we perform any activity. Okay, raising above those pair of opposites. Okay, then third principle is vimatsarah. Vimatsarah is free from envy, free from jealousy, free from ill will, free from being hostile, having hostile feelings towards others. Vimatsarah. Okay. Then next principle is siddhau, asiddhau, samah. Remaining same in success and failure. Siddhi, asiddhi. Siddhi is success and asiddhi is failure. Siddhau, asiddhau is in success and failure. Samaha in same, remaining same. So having balanced mind, treating success or failure with, equally. I mean, it does not matter whether I got the goal, my goal is satisfied or not satisfied, right? So that's a result. There could be a lot of temporary results along the way. Those we don't care. Heat or cold, for example, like when we are performing any activity, we are faced with all temporary dualities, right? It could be related to our body comforts or our mind, how we feel, all that. We shouldn't be disturbed, bothered by us. We go above those. We are not going to be entangled or looking only towards those and then enjoying them, living in that world of temporary dualities, right? So, for example, we are working and then somebody praises us or criticizes us. Now, you could live in that world, like, why did he do that? Why did she do that? Or you can go beyond that. This is not what my goal is. These are temporary, these are, and then go beyond that. I mean, overcome that, whatever kind of feeling you may be getting with these dualities, you overcome that. And then move towards your goal. These dualities are not our goals, right? Enjoying this, the positive thing in the duality and hating the negative thing in the duality is not our goal. Those are all related towards our body, our material nature, right? So we go beyond that. This our goal is beyond materialistic things. So that is dvandva-ati. Vimatsarah is we are free from envy, jealousy, ill will towards others. Typically what happens is when we don't get something and somebody else gets it, right? That's jealousy. Looking, that person has either a lot of money, or big house or cars or whatever, maybe even good health, and we don't have it, any of these materialistic things, we feel jealousy, right? Why that person has it and why we don't have it? Okay, so it doesn't stop there. It basically kinds of goes towards we start hating that person, or we start having ill will to them, something bad should happen, right? So that person, let that person lose, or something like that. So in the extreme cases, somebody may, go and take actions to hurt the other person. Okay. So it is that ill will is developed thinking that, oh, this person has more and I don't have it. Okay. Now, typically we are when we are thinking about the situation like this, we consider that the person has done something to us, right? That's why we show ill will towards that person. Okay. Or that person is somehow responsible. Okay. We do not attribute anything to ourselves. Okay. What we would then only we will start having that jealousy towards others, right? That person has more and I have less. Okay. Why do I have less? Is it because of anybody else in this world? Why am I in this situation? Why am I facing this situation where I'm getting this feeling of jealousy and we are ill will towards others?
Then karmic bondage, right? Our gunas and
Exactly. No one else need to be blamed for that. It is a karmic bondage that is causing us to experience whatever it is. It is their karmic bondage, even though they may be, like sometimes we think, oh, okay, that person didn't work hard at all. Somehow, he's enjoying everything and I'm working so hard, but I'm not getting money. I'm not, enjoying my life. Okay. So we forget that there's no one can do anything to us except our own karmic bondage. All our experiences that we have, right? Any hardships, anything that is coming to us is just because of our karmic bondage. These are the experiences that we need to go through. Nothing, about others. Can someone give an example from Ramayana?
About karmic bondage, sir?
Vimatsarah, like free from ill will.
Oh.
Wasn't
Mandara.
Ram himself the free of ill will, even to people who banished him, and he gladly accepted and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, perfect. Exactly the example that I was looking for. So this is one reason why we say Ramayana is practical guide and Bhagavad Gita is theoretical, the theory that is given to us, formulas given to us. Now, how do I apply this in a real world situation? Ramayana shows everything for everything. In Bhagavad Gita, there is Ramayana is a practical guide. So how Rama treated that situation? He's supposed to become king, right? He's supposed to be coronated next morning, within few hours. Everybody accepted. Okay, everybody was looking forward to it. Okay, just few hours before that event, Kaikeyi wanted Bharata to be king and Rama to be sent to forest. Okay, right? Just like that. I mean, you are a prince from day one of your birth, enjoying all the the kingdom and everything. Now you have to go to the forest, nothing, and live in forest for 14 years. How bad it is, right? I mean, immediately if the same situation occurs, only Kaikeyi was the one that was asking Rama to go. Everybody else, was not supporting that. Right? Rama could have simply, even Dasharatha says, you overrule me. Okay, you overrule me and you become king. Okay, don't don't consider this. Sri Rama said, no, I'm going to the forest. He did not have ill will towards Kaikeyi a single bit. Actually, when Lakshmana started cursing Kaikeyi, he warns Lakshmana, don't do that. Right? I mean, I'm paraphrasing, right? So he absolutely doesn't have ill will. Why is that he has to go to forest? It is the experience for me that I need to go through this. We need to go through it. And someone is criticizing, blaming, cursing. It is very easy to curse back at that person or think of really bad things to happen to that person because they are. It could be injustice. Like in case of Kaikeyi and Lord Sri Rama, it is straightforward injustice done to Rama and to the entire kingdom. Right? So he could have cursed Kaikeyi, like accepted the thing and he would have gone, but while going, he could have cursed. Or he could have cursed, not in her face, but with others. While talking to Lakshmana, while talking to Sita, talking to other people, he could have cursed Kaikeyi, if only, she's so bad, she wants me to go. Right? He did not curse her at all, even in front of others. When others started cursing Kaikeyi, he stopped them. Okay? So when we do any activity, these intermediate results are going to come to us. We think of, we get affected by those intermediate results. We get affected by the dvandvas. We develop ill will, envy, jealousy towards others. Okay, with whatever is happening. Okay, so Lord Krishna is saying that you have to be free from this. Okay, when you get any result, remain the same. Don't jump up and down if you get success, and don't be depressed when you get failure. Yadruchchha, bha-santusht'ah. Be satisfied with whatever you get, right? Yadruchchha is like by chance, sometimes with your effort, you get something, sometimes you just get something, right? You may not directly see your effort there, right? In fact, everything is given to us irrespective of our efforts, or because there is a lot of things beyond our own efforts that give us the result. So if you know that fact, then it is all by chance only, right? So if let us say say 10,000 people are writing a test, taking a test, who is going to be number one? Right? Irrespective of how well you prepare, it all depends on other 9,999 people and your health on that day. Your, so many things on that day. What you may suddenly get headache, and then even though we may prepare really well, we may not be able to write, or we may suddenly forget, or the question paper is totally difficult. So in a number of things that may happen. So our effort giving result is kind of the delusion. Okay, our effort should be there. It's not that we should not do the effort, but we should not link the result to our effort. We have to treat that result as we got it by chance, whatever it is, and treat it equally, success or failure. So yadruchchha, bha-santusht'ah, be satisfied with what you get, and treat success and failure as equal, and rise above all the dualities that we face while while living, while performing our activities, and don't develop any envy or jealousy or ill will towards others. Then what happens? Krutva api na nibadhyate. Then he is not bound even after doing the work. So that person is freed from karmic bondage, does not get into the cycle of births and deaths. So not bound by karma even after doing it. So karma is done, the activity is done. But when we do the activity supported by the principles that are given here, then that karma, what we do, is not going to bind us. Otherwise, it will bind. That's understood. Okay. We'll move on to sloka 23.
Sir, can I ask a
Sure.
more the example of Ramayana? It's maybe a doubt in my mind. So, like Rama and Krishna, they were the incarnations, right? They were avatars.
Yes, definitely.
Do avatars come with the karmic bondage? Like,
No.
Okay.
That was very clearly mentioned in the beginning of the chapter. That's the difference between Lord's births and our births.
And right, that is what I understood, sir. That is what I was asking. So when we say that the like Sri
Lord Sri Rama thought, right? So Lord Sri Rama, he considered himself throughout his life as human. Okay. So he lived like any other human being, considering himself as with whatever knowledge that human would have, right? Thinking that he is born out of karmic bondage, and right. I mean, otherwise, immediately it will become inconsistent, right? Like you're thinking that you're born, you're a human being, you're living like a perfect human being, but thinking that I don't have karmic bondage. That does not go together. So I have certain duties to do. See, Paramatma doesn't have any duties to do. One who is taken, doesn't have any duties to do means he doesn't have any assigned duties, because he's not taking birth to experience any karmic bondage. He can do whatever he wants, right? But as a human being, when we are born, we have to perform our prescribed duty. Lord Sri Rama performed his duties perfectly as a human being. Whatever duties he carried from birth till the time he left, right? In various forms, as a king, he performed the duty. He gave being a ruler is higher responsibility over his own personal things, right? He cared about others' opinion than his own personal opinions, right? So actually, even though he's a king, he's not a dictator, right? I mean, just trying to. He actually cared more about the people than his own personal satisfaction, personal happiness. Okay, it's more than democracy even. Anyway, so yeah, he does not have karmic bondage. Then he took birth. No. However, when he faced any situation, he did not have ill will. Okay, it didn't matter whether it's karmic bondage, not having karmic, all that doesn't matter. We are trying to understand that when we need to understand our own feelings. Okay, if I should not think of if other person is really hurting me, okay, then why should I mean, if it is my duty to protect myself, if my duty to protect others, we have to do it. I'm not saying that just accept whatever it is, right? But don't develop the ill will towards a person. That hatred is not, hatred is the one that is going to lead to our downfall. So again, previous chapters it was given, right? So that anger and hatred are really, really, enemies for us. So if we develop them, then it is going to hurt us only. Nothing will happen. See, if we really every minute of our life think this bad should happen to this person, bad, why did that person do this to me? Everything bad should happen. Nothing will happen to that person. We are not God to just wish and then it will happen, right? It's our downfall only. We are basically we are pushing ourselves down and down. Okay, it is. This is where these are difficult principles to practice. It's not going to happen, with just like that. We read the book and then suddenly we start practicing. It has to be practiced again and again. So whenever we face the situation, we have to think about that principle, apply that, think about the principle. First time we may not be able to apply it, properly. Second time, third time, nth time, then we start, when we face a situation, we will not be reacting with hatred. We will respond to the situation, not react.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other question? I think the next sloka will not be able to cover. It's around 9:30 almost. Any other questions?
In this sloka, right, you said the first line, the first pada, right? Yadruchchha bha-santusht'ah. So being satisfied by whatever comes across by chance. That's what you said?
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm just wondering why did you add that word by chance, right? I'm just wondering. Anything comes across also, right? And that's whatever comes across when you're doing karma, you should take it, right? That's what. Is there anything specific?
So one is without having our own efforts, right? Something comes to us. You can think of many things. Suddenly, the economy will go down. Is it your work? Okay. Or suddenly something good may also happen, sometimes. Okay. So there are several things that happen by chance for us. Okay. There are these things that we are not really seeking. They come by chance. Like, for example, we do some work, we are working. Suddenly somebody comes and praises us, or somebody comes and criticizes us.
So which you don't expect.
Yeah. By chance, I think it by its own accord, on its own, I guess. That's a better description. I don't know. I think that's what it is.
So, it is, it happens by itself.
Yeah.
Right. You are not actively seeking that. Okay. And that is one way of understanding. Second is, everything that is we do is by chance only, whatever you get, right?
You don't have any control.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything that is directly
It happens by
related to our own
chance, yeah.
efforts, nothing is related. I mean, it goes against some of the principles like, oh, you work hard, then you get the result, right? But the result is given to us by chance only, in a way. Even the result that we are working for. Okay, so whatever result you get, you will be satisfied with it. Okay, and here to make it explicit, right? Anything that comes without your you know, your own expectation, with your own efforts, whatever you get, you accept it. Be satisfied with it. And all are related, right? Dvandvas are also kind of results that you're getting by chance. Okay, sometimes you you know that, right? If it is winter and you go out, it is going to be cold. But I mean, you know that it's going to be cold. But sometimes, you know, we are walking on the road, suddenly starts raining. We haven't expected that. So then typically what we do is immediately curse, right? Why did this happen? When we are going on the road, somebody, you know, overtakes us, or there is a lot of traffic on the road. What is going to be our situation? We start blaming traffic, we start blaming other people who put us in that situation, right? You asked me to go there, or, you know, or somebody starts you know, complaining that you didn't come on time, and then that happened because we were stuck in traffic. Now then we start either cursing that traffic, or we start cursing that person because he is not understanding. So these are all like most of the times it is by chance only, you know, and then we start reacting to it. Okay, so whatever comes, you accept it, be satisfied with it. Don't get agitated, or don't look for more of them. Like if let us say by chance some praise comes, then don't look for more, because it is given to us by chance only.
Got it, understood. Okay.
These principles are so powerful. So if we really memorize them, so this is what how to apply these principles, life management in Bhagavad Gita is basically listen, Shravanam, then Mananam is continuously thinking about it, right? And Abhyasa is practice. Okay, so when suddenly some things that you don't expect occurs, right? So immediately think of this principle. That is Abhyasa, right? Don't jump to reacting like you know, you're expecting the, you know, very nice dish, right? And but it is say having salty, or spicy, or cold, you know, anything could be, you know. So just don't be bothered by it, affected by it. Okay, but typically what happens is start cursing the person who made it, you know. See, there is a difference between responding, telling that, okay, this is not how it is supposed to be. That's fine. But having that anger, hatred, ill will towards the other person is not going to do anything to that person. If somebody is complaining, criticizing us, nothing will happen to us. Is anything going to happen to us? Think about it. After you listen, and then after a few seconds, you're like that only. Nothing happened. You didn't lose $1 million, right? I mean, I'm telling because money is the most important thing for all of us. We understand. That's what I'm saying, right? So, but if we listen and then react to it, we will go down. If we listen, don't react to it, then we go up. Unfortunately, sometimes what happens is other people take advantage of that, right? But that's not our problem. We have to respond where it is needed. Don't have to respond where it is not needed. Again, this is all handling dvandva-ati, going beyond, overcoming the dvandvas, the dualities.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we concluded the concluding prayer. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhava karomi yajjat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami vimatsarah samarpayami sarvam Shri Krishna arpanamastu Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Jai Srimanarayana.
Yes,
Jai Srimanarayana. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Sir. Thank
Jai
you.
Srimanarayana.
Jai Shri